Hi. So, I wanted to make a series of videos, and based on different metabolic issues and whatnot. Diabetes, I believe, is one of the most important ones because it affects millions of people, and it's one of those things that are misdiagnosed and misunderstood. Now, when I say misunderstood, I'm like most people think of it as a high sugar disease, which is true. However, that's not the whole story, and you need to know the whole story because what most people don't know is that once you have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes or diabetes, then the problem has already progressed into something that's way more advanced than just, you know, diabetes. The problem is insulin resistance. So what we need to do is understand how insulin works, how blood sugar works, and we need to get ahead of the curve so that your children and your children's children don't have to go through the same things that I did or my parents did or the millions of people that have diabetes around the world right now. So let's rethink it. Okay, so why insulin resistance is the real epidemic? Okay, so today I want to talk about diabetes, and I'm not going to talk about it the way most people do. So most of the medical system treats diabetes like as high blood sugar, and that's how the disease is diagnosed, and it's how it's treated. But here's the truth. So high blood sugar is a symptom, and it's not the root cause. By the time someone's told that they have type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, the underlying condition, which is insulin resistance, has often been building silently for years or even decades. Now we're catching it too late, and the way we need to approach it in medicine and in nutrition hasn't changed much. Now, I asked my doctors when I was first diagnosed, and actually more recently when I educated myself on diabetes and insulin resistance, I asked them, I said, hey, why wasn't I told this before? And every doctor that I spoke with, their response was, well, they don't teach you that in medical school. They teach you how to fix problems. They teach doctors how to fix problems rather than prevent them. And fair enough, that's what doctors do. But we need to get ahead of it. And like I said before, to make our future healthy. And there's a huge campaign going on, Make America Healthy Again. And this is one of the reasons that we need to do it. This is one of the ways that we can do it. Okay, so I need everybody's help. If we all get together and we change and we shift the nutritional paradigm, we can make it healthier for everybody. Okay, so currently diabetes is diagnosed with like a fasting glucose test or an A1C test, usually in your regular blood panel. And these tests measure blood sugar, but they don't measure what really matters, your insulin resistance. Doctors don't have a fasting insulin test that they regularly test right now, so that's the problem. Insulin resistance happens when your cells stop responding properly to insulin, the hormone that moves sugar from your blood into your cells. So your pancreas keeps pumping out insulin to compensate for all the sugar that's in your blood. And for years, your blood sugar may appear to be normal while your insulin levels are dangerously high. Because like I said, they don't test for the insulin levels. But if you were to have a fasting insulin test, you can tell right away, and you could jump on it. And this is why so many people are misdiagnosed or only diagnosed when the disease is already advanced. Now think about this. Millions of people have metabolic dysfunctions that they don't even know about. Their labs look normal, but their insulin is skyrocketing. Their fat storage is abnormal, and their risk for heart disease, fatty liver, and neurological problems is increasing more and more. So what drives insulin resistance? Well, the answer is simpler than most people think. Modern diet. We live in a world with ultra-processed foods, constant snacking, sugary drinks, refined grains, and I'll go into all of those different types of diets and how we can improve our metabolic state, because the constant snacking is what causes our insulin to spike up, because every single time you consume most foods, your insulin is spiked. And when your insulin is constantly spiked, then that creates a problem for your body because it becomes resistant, and hence insulin resistance. So every time we spike our insulin, our cells gradually become less sensitive. And over time, the system breaks down and the insulin resistance sets in. So contrast this with how much humans ate for most of history. Meals with protein, fat, fiber, eaten a few times a day, blood sugar and insulin were naturally regulated. Our bodies evolved for scarcity, not constant carbohydrate overload. It's not just sugar, it's a combination of high carb meals, ultra processed snacks, frequent eating, and together they create a perfect storm for metabolic disease. So why insulin resistance should be the test? Well, we want to truly address diabetes, and we need to focus on insulin resistance as the primary marker. Tests like fasting insulin, HOMA-IR, continuous glucose monitoring provide a much clearer picture of metabolic health. By diagnosing insulin resistance early, we can intervene before blood sugar climbs, before medications are necessary, and before long-term complications set in. So prevention isn't just a catchphrase, it's measurable, actionable, and life-changing. So once we recognize insulin resistance as the root problem, the solution becomes clear. It's nutrition and your lifestyle. Reduce refined carbs and sugars. These are the primary drivers of insulin resistance. Focus more on whole foods. I'm not a big fan of vegetables and fruits, but they're whole foods rather than eating processed foods. So I'll get into the more healthy diets as I go on with my videos, but for now, let's focus on diabetes and let's focus on whole foods. You want to prioritize protein and healthy fats. When I say healthy fats, I don't mean just non-saturated fats, because saturated fats are very, very healthy, as long as you don't combine them with a ton of sugar and carbs. Healthy fats, the non-healthy fats are like the trans fats. So that's one of the worst fats that you can eat. But most fats that aren't coming from seed oils or something like that are healthy. Like, for example, olive oils have healthy fats. Saturated fats are especially healthy as long as you don't combine them with high sugar foods or high carbohydrate foods. They stabilize your blood sugar and they support muscle, which is critical for insulin sensitivity. So time your meals, allow your body periods without food. Intermittent fasting or simply snacking fewer gives insulin levels time to drop. Move your body. Muscle is an insulin sponge. So resistance training and aerobic exercise dramatically improve insulin sensitivity. Sleep and stress management, cortisol and poor sleep also worsen insulin resistance. These interventions aren't just theoretical, they're proven strategies that target the root of the disease rather than just managing symptoms. So in summary, the way we think about diabetes needs to change. So blood sugar is a late stage symptoms. Okay, so insulin resistance is the epidemic that we've been ignoring, and modern diets, high carbs, high sugar, processed foods, are fueling it. We need to shift the nutritional paradigm, like I said, and we need to focus on metabolic health. We can prevent, we can manage, and we can reverse insulin resistance. This isn't talked about, and it's not just about adding years to your life, it's about improving the quality of life every single day, giving people energy, mental clarity, and the freedom from chronic disease. So let's stop treating the symptom and just start addressing the cause. Let's focus on insulin resistance. Give the next generation a chance to thrive without diabetes. Okay, so like I said, this is something that I'm very passionate about. I just finished a book called Metabolic Revolution, Shifting the Nutritional Paradigm. I'll put a link in the description for you. But this is video, I think it's video 2 now. So I'm going to be working on different videos with different topics, and I'll try to address them. I'll try to address as much as I can. But we need to shift the nutritional paradigm. So I need your help. I need everybody's help. Let's get on board and let's really make America healthy again.